Hello, this is The Good with Dr. Joe. We welcome you to visit with us today. We're going to talk a little bit about Veterans Day, but first, Joe's going to give us the time.
Yes, welcome to our podcast. Right now it's 9 a.m. in California, and it's 12 noon Atlanta, and it's 5 p.m. in London, England. Just as Ms. No said, we're going to be talking a bit about the veterans today. We're also going to be talking about the elections. The election is still on. Hey, people, let's be a little bit patient here. Let's be patient with each other. And then also there's a runoff that is coming up in January.
That's here in our
in Georgia.
Yeah, with the Senate.
Yes.
And that other one? Legislature.
Actually, 2 Senate seats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Loeffler and Warnock.
Yes.
And Ossoff and Perdue.
Perdue.
Yeah.
Ossoff and Perdue. So those are the 4 candidates now that scored the highest. So now they're going to run, head to head in January. And this election, this senatorial election, is actually a very big one because that's going to determine who controls the Senate.
Right.
So I think we should really brace ourselves for it because there's going to be a lot of money pouring in. There's going to be a lot of
lobbying.
Yes. The Democrat and Republican from the national what do you call it?
The Biden administration will be in Washington by then. Mm-hmm. They'll be seated and taken over. Yeah. And of course they're really going to push hard.
No, it's going to happen on January 5th.
Well, he'll already be in. Because won't he be sworn in January 3rd?
No, he's sworn in January 20th.
Oh, that far in January?
Yes, January 20th. That's when the swearing is going to happen.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So which means everybody's still going to be battling for those 2 seats.
Oh, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of political ads and a lot of calls. So we should just get ready for it. Let's just get ready for it, and unless maybe miraculously one of them can just say, you know what, I'm going to let the other guy go unopposed. You think that can happen?
No.
Maybe one of them come out and say, you know what, let's just let you just go. Maybe I don't want to deal with this headache. I don't want to deal with all this campaign and everything. We just step back. That would be nice. Because whether we like it or not, one person is going to go, one person is going to remain, one person is going to be back here.
And it's our responsibility to honor whomever gets the vote.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about Veterans Day.
Yeah, go ahead.
Our veterans are so important to our lives. Veterans Day originated as Armistice Day on November the 11th in 1919, at the end of World War I.
Now, let me, if I can interject for a second. For those that may not be sure what amethyst, because I thought that amethyst was a color. There's a contact. The color is actually amethyst that you can put on and it look really beautiful. So tell us what that stands for, what that word stands for.
Well, I've never looked it up in the dictionary, but armistice usually designates end of fighting.
I see.
Today, there are 18.8 million veterans living in the United States.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot. But you got to remember now, we've had a lot of wars since World War II.
Yeah.
And that's 7.6% of the population. And this is predominantly male at 96.6, but they say the number in the military for females is rising and will exceed the male population in time.
Really? Well, why do you think that's going to be? Why do you think the female number
I think because it's a long-term career, especially for females, and hopefully it's an area where in time they will be treated as equals, promoted, and it gives you a good living. I mean, once you reach a certain rating in the any military, it gives you a fairly good living.
You mean a rank, right?
Right. Okay. Thank you. That's it. And I don't know about the population. I don't know why it's declining in males. I've not discovered anything relating to that. However,
now that you mentioned about the women coming up, it was the notorious RBG,
What's that? I don't know what RBG is.
Ruth Ginsburg, the lady that just passed away,
What about her?
the Supreme Court judge.
Yeah, what about her?
You know, she was the one that fought so hard for Virginia VMI to accept military female cadets. You know, before she stepped in, they didn't. They didn't. It was a male academy only.
Well, you know, my personal view, which
Yes.
I'm sure nobody's really interested in,
I'm interested in your personal view.
I
What do
don't
you mean?
believe women should be on the battlefield. I don't believe.
What's your reason for it?
I don't believe God created
Mhm.
women physically to stand the hardships of a battlefield.
But you know everything about battlefield is not about war. There's planning.
And now wait a minute, I said
yeah.
battlefield.
Yeah.
I didn't say behind.
Yeah.
I didn't say at a desk
Mhm.
or behind the lines. I said battlefield.
Yeah. Even in the battlefield, that's what I'm saying. It's all not. It's not everything. It's not about just shooting and killing.
No, but I just
there's
said
supplies
that's
and stuff like that. You know,
that's my
planning,
personal
there's
opinion.
movement. Okay.
And
your opinion. That's
anytime
fine.
you mix men and women in close proximity, you're gonna have problems.
That's it.
Nature's always gonna play. Every time it does in the office, it does in the church.
We're getting our first call. For 1 second, please. This is the Good with Dr. Joe podcast. Thank you for calling in. Please say your name, please. Can you hear me?
Maybe they want to make an appointment.
Hello.
Hi, yes, this is Jana.
Janice. Hey, Janice. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on the Good with Dr. Joe. We're talking about veterans today. So, are you a veteran, or do you have something to tell us about veteran? You have some comments, some questions?
Yes. So, I wanted to say, as far as like with the veterans, I hope that there's more that could be done for veterans and getting the veterans off the street and more benefits. I feel like they're swept under the rug still, and that Democrats they didn't necessarily, or when the Democrats are in office, they don't necessarily take care of the veterans, versus when Republicans get into the office, they take care of the veterans. And I hope that doesn't change going forward. My dad was a veteran, and he did not, before he passed away, he did not really receive the care that he could have received.
Wow.
While under military care. So I just think they're not appreciated as they should be.
Now,
there's more support going to other organizations versus the people who have served for this country.
Like the arts, wanting millions of dollars for the arts. Those millions of dollars ought to go to the veterans and the VA and their services.
Well, I'm not saying that all the money should go to the veterans, but I feel like they don't really. It's like, okay, you served this country, you sworn in, okay, whatever, and when they get released back to society as civilians, like, they're just ignored, and all people do is say, thank you for your service.
Right.
That's all they really say. Like, and I think there should be more opportunities. Like, I just don't feel like they get the respect that they deserve, whether they're a private first class, lieutenant, first sergeant. Like, they just don't get the respect that they need, and the health benefits. A veteran should not have to wait. Why do veterans have to wait so long? Like, push them through. They should be the ones that have the privilege.
Well, you know, they do get quite a bit. You know, once you get out of the military, the pay for your education, if you choose to go on to a vocational school
Right.
or to college.
Right, but even that takes a long time because my dad, we got VA benefits under my dad's military care, and even with the VA benefits, like it takes forever. Like it takes forever for you to get your check in the mail, the paperwork, the process. Sometimes they lose your paperwork. It takes so long. And maybe they have done better over time, but I just know that with those benefits, it's not all easy as society has made it seem. Like you go through a lot basically. Like when you're trying to enroll in a school, there's certain programs that they won't let you do. There's certain schools that you can't go to. There's certain things that they just don't.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you think the issue is the program, or the issue is administering the program? Is it the administration where the problem is, or is it the actual issue? You think they should have more programs, or they should execute the programs that they have now better?
It's the administration.
I think they should have.
There's a lot of programs.
Mm-hmm.
They should have more people that actually, they should train these people, the administrative staff, to actually be genuine towards the veterans. I don't think they have a lot of programs. I think there needs to be more programs. There needs to be more help regarding health, mental health, physical health. Like, they're just not getting it.
All right. Thank you so much for your call. We really appreciate that. We're going to see what we can continue. We're going to see what we can do to get some of these programs more. Now, she makes a valid point there that sometimes it takes a lot of time. I remember it was in the news a few years back that sometimes it took 6 months to get an appointment to see a doctor or to get an appointment to do anything.
Well, you know, our current administration was trying to change all that.
I see. So do you think there has been any improvement?
Well, I would have no idea. I don't know anyone in the military, and so I have no idea.
If you're in the military or if you are a veteran and you're watching us, call us. Let us know what you think about what they are doing to help the veterans right now. What kind of programs they have out there. What kind of incentives they have to say thank you for the service that you guys did for this country. The number is 678-708-4567. 678-708-4567. Let us know, Austin, if there's any word we need to listen to that. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
You know, I don't know if there's any young people listening to us today, but I know there's a lot of young people aren't aware of how much blood has been shed around the world by our American military. We have blood. American blood is all over the world. We liberated Italy, France, England, Germany, and that's just part of it. There was Poland and Czechoslovakia. That we have France is soaked with the military American blood. Thousands of U.S. troops are buried at Normandy.
Yes, I think I remember that.
And you remember Beach of Omaha? That's when thousands and thousands of men were killed. Not only Americans, but England and Australia had troops there. And that was done to liberate France. And every day we should always be praying for all these souls that are in the military and honor them. And I also wanted you all to know, I looked this up today. The oldest living veteran is of World War II. He's 110, and it's Lawrence Brooks.
So please hold that thought for a quick second. We need to give a big shout out to him.
Hold on.
Thank you so much for calling the podcast, The Good with Dr. Joe. You're on the line. Please go ahead and say your name.
My name is Ronnie Mitchell.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ronnie, for calling in. So are you a veteran?
Yes, I am.
Oh, thank you so much for your service. We really appreciate that. So we're of course, today is Veterans Day. So we're celebrating or marking Veteran Day all over America today. So I think the lady that just called ahead of you was saying something about the care for veterans and incentive for veterans. So what do you think about the assistance that you guys have gotten after your service?
Well, I have to talk. Every veteran is going to tell you, about their assistance and whatever like that. I did 21 years.
Wow.
I did 2 combat tours, and I did 7 tours overseas. So out of the 21 years that I spent in the military, 15 of it was out of the United States, right? So I get 80%. I retired with honors, and I get 80% disability now, and I'm still, trying to get 100%, right? But the pandemic slowed it down. But you asked me that question. Some of the problems we had. The problems we have is getting our paperwork and getting down to the VA. They reconstructed the VA so many ways. You have an appointment at 8 o'clock. You got to be there at least 4 in the morning just to park.
What?
There's just so many obstacles, and then you wait for somebody to evaluate you. You get evaluated by somebody that don't have no military ties, can't even relate to where you've been and stuff, and then they gonna tell you what you deserve and what you don't. So this whole thing with the VA is like it's still a battle. But my mission and vision for this year is I'm gonna complete mine because I'm doing stuff to complete it. But I can understand how the average veteran goes through some of these obstacles, and the thing is getting your foot in the door so you can get your appointments and staying on schedule and all that stuff. So that's part of the problem, sir.
Now let me ask you this: where do you think the solution is? What do you think needs to be done to fix this problem? Is it from the? Do you think is the program itself or the administering of the program?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I think it's the program itself, and I think it's the administration of the program. Because, okay, say for example, I suffer from post-traumatic stress. I live by myself. That's probably part of the things that they pay me for, right?
Okay.
For that, right? So I have to keep going and do this and do that, right? And stuff, and I have to do this, right? But see, when a soldier, when you inflict this over there like that, I had never seen nobody get shot and stuff. I was in combat. I seen something that I shouldn't have seen that changed my life about some stuff. First of all, so I don't care what the government say. Just for them putting me in that shock like that, it affected my life. That's why I ain't married. It affected my life like that. It turned me into a damn killer. Excuse my language. So now I don't come out of that shell. My life ain't right. I'm not the same person I was with my mom before I went in the Army. I'm a different person. And it sticks with you. So that's just part of the thing is listening to the soldier. Every soldier has got they need to listen to it because people ain't been there don't know. All it takes for you to be near your life or let something come at you that can almost kill you, almost die. Then you'll know what we mean. You see, people don't understand that realm until you get put in there. It's a whole different realm. It's a whole different fear. I ain't have nobody but the Lord over there, and that, so I'm gonna work this through that. I'm not trying to get into nothing like that, but all veterans will break down and tell you that because there's a hurt inside us, and all we want is to be accepted. We shouldn't have to work so hard to get a nice home, to have a car. We gave our life. We went over there. We volunteered. Some people didn't volunteer. Some people was drafted. I feel it does better. The Vietnam veterans get more credit than us because they didn't have no choice. They was made to go over there, and some of them didn't come back. So that's the way I feel about it. I'm a veteran for life, so I have to have my views.
See, thank you so much for calling in. Part of what we intend to do using this platform is try and find the various ways that we can help make changes in these areas that we know definitely need changes. I mean, the fact that you guys are still talking about paperwork, this is 2020. What happened to computer? What happened to email? What happened to stuff like that? Why are we not using that? But anyway, thank you so much for calling in today. We're going to take some of this information, and we're definitely going to get in touch with you to see what other ways we can use to make change happen. Thank you so much for calling. Okay, so you see, it looks as if this is actually a systemic issue. So what is just confirmed is that the problem is not solved yet. You understand, So when you go all out, you sacrifice your time, you sacrifice your life, and then you come home, they say thank you for your service, and some of the basic stuff you can't get it.
Well, I tell you, it'll never be solved because the government employs too many people who sit around and do nothing.
Okay.
No, I'm serious, because I've been there. Okay. I can't tell you how many hours I spent at the VA hospital in Tampa, Florida, with a husband who had cancer. So I know what's going on. And there were so many people around there who literally were not doing anything.
Wow. And
the doctors, at that point in time, maybe there's been some improvement. This was back, it's been back 16 years ago now. We're pretty blasé. Well, the doctors that I encountered were not that concerned about their patients. But you see, I wondered at the time, why are you working here? And I'm talking about the doctor. When I know the pay scale's not that good.
I see.
Why are you not in practice somewhere else where you could make a lot of money?
So you're thinking that part of the problem would be the pay also?
Well, sure.
Oh.
I mean, they're not going to, if you're a high-powered doctor, if you're really a good doctor, are you going to work for 40, 50? Well, you're going to work for $100,000 a year when you could be in a practice making $200, $250.
I see what you mean.
So I figure there's something wrong with the doctor. They're not that good.
Well, it could be that they're also serving the nation. They're going to sacrifice, serve the.
Yeah.
But the problem is that when you say he doesn't show any care for the patient, then that defeats the whole idea of trying to serve.
Well, sure.
If you're going there to serve people.
Sure. I understand exactly what it's all about.
So how do we fix this problem? Who do we need to talk to? Do we need to talk to the Congress? Do we need to talk to the senators?
It's both. It's both. It's your Congress and your Senate. See, they're up there playing for their favorite program, like wanting money for the arts.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Come on. Millions of dollars to the arts? No, put millions of dollars into rehab for veterans who've lost their legs and arms.
You see, this is what I don't understand, though, because most of the people there now served in the military. I know this guy who was contesting, Dr. McCormick, don't know his name, he served in the military. What's this guy from South Carolina? Wasn't the senator from South Carolina?
I have no idea.
The guy who just ran the nomination.
Graham?
Yeah, Graham.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsey Graham was actually in the military as a JAG, was an Air Force JAG officer. So these people served in the military. I remember Senator Mass Cleland. Remember Mass Cleland, the senator that he served in the military. Mm-hmm. So all of them, they're there, they've served before, and then they get there. Is it that they forget that?
Well, and see, you got to have a majority.
Yeah, but
you're talking about.
But they're asking for money for the art. Why is somebody not asking for money for the VA? When you have how many of them there know anything about art? So how many of them have been went through the military, served in the military, and are sitting there and nobody's putting forward a bill for more money for the VA?
Okay, right here, right here in front of our face.
Yes, we're looking.
Lawmakers approved $1 million to investigate racism.
Racism.
In what? What's that?
And VMI, Virginia Military Institute.
That's stupid.
That's the one I was talking to you
That
about.
is plumb
That's what I'm
stupid.
saying. It's the wrong priority.
$1 million?
Mhm.
You know, that's just so somebody can sit around
Mhm.
and do half-assed work
Ask questions
and earn a salary.
Yeah.
Come on.
You see? So that's part of the problem.
But that was that senator. He promised them something.
Mhm.
You know, it all revolves around the dollar.
My
Joe.
question she goes about why is somebody of all these people who've been in the military in Congress, all these people who've been in the military in the House of Representatives or in the Senate, why is somebody? This is one good question we should ask. Let's try and get Senator Laughlin. Let's get Senator Laughlin. Let's get Senator Perdue. Let's get Mr. Ossoff. Sorry. I'm sorry. Mr. Ossoff. I'm sorry. Please pardon me. Pardon me.
No, I think you were right.
No. Mr. Ossoff.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get Mr. Ossoff. And then let's get Reverend Warnock.
Now, there's a guy who really talks.
Yeah.
With sense. He's sensible.
Mm-hmm.
Or when he talks, he does sense. I like him.
Who's the name? What's the name?
What's
who's
his
this
first name?
symbol?
He's supposed to be Reverend so Warnock.
Yeah, Reverend.
Warnock.
Yeah, Reverend Warnock. Yeah, we have Reverend Warnock. So this is one of our plans.
You know, he talks good.
We want to be involved. Let's get involved with this election coming up, this runoff coming up in January. Our intention is to reach out to all 4 candidates. Let's have them come over. Let's bring them over here. Let's talk to them. No, let's talk to them. Let's find out what they are going to do when they get there, and let's specifically ask them what are they going to do for the VA,
for the veterans.
What are they going to do for the veterans?
Well, you know, I think when you ask these politicians those questions, they give you the answer you want to hear. See, I'm cynical.
Let's hold them to their word.
Well, there's no way you can do it.
Yeah, let's hold them to the word and say, Senator, you are saying this now. What can you give to us that we can hold you to this word for? How do we hold you to your word?
No way.
So
because once they get up there, the party rules.
Okay, well, so let's as we round up, I want you to let us know what you think. I want you to like our videos. We're going to load this up on YouTube. And we're going to...
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Let's get this in.
Yes.
For Lawrence Brooks.
Oh, Lawrence Brooks. Yeah.
He deserves some honor and recognition.
Yeah, let's give him a whoop.
Lawrence Brooks is 110.
Yes.
Lives in New Orleans. World War II vet. He served from 1941 to 1945. Served in the Pacific with the predominantly Black American 91st Unit.
Wow.
And I think he deserves some recognition.
True American hero.
Right.
God bless you, sir, for your service, Mr. Brooks. And we pray for many more happy returns for you. Happy birthday to you. Is it happy birthday? When's his birthday? Do you know?
Didn't say.
Okay, so we'll wish you birthday, whatever day the birthday is. All right, so please check us out on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple.
What about Instagram?
Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. We'll update our forms and see you next Wednesday live on Instagram, 12 noon. The Good with Dr. Joe.
Joe.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.